boo, boo.
Opie Radio.
Boo, 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 boo.
Boom, 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 boom.
Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, we are live 500 feet above the streets of New York City. As the sun, look at that, the sun is going to be popping in about a half hour. That's cool. I like seeing that. Yesterday was a really long day. I should be sleeping in today. I think I could easily have slept in today. Like I say all the time, I'm a morning person, so my body clock starts rumbling, and I'm up every morning by 5:15 or so. But I think I could have slept in today. We did the whole tourist thing yesterday, and it was awesome. You know, we took the subway. That's kind of touristy for us these days. Then we went down to Times Square. We checked out some Times Square action. Walked by my old gig. Walked right by SiriusXM, and God, I love my daughter. She goes, "Dad, can I give them the finger?" I'm raising them right. Cheers. And then we checked out the Rockefeller Christmas tree. I was trying to get down there early. I was trying to rally the troops yesterday morning. I'm like, we got to go early. The later we wait, it's going to be more and more people. So by the time we got there, it was a complete and utter zoo. Trying to get a picture with the tree without another person, in it, pretty much impossible. There is a line. They have this really long line. By the time we got there, the line was like at least 2 blocks long, maybe longer. And you can stand in that line, and then there's an actual area where you and your family can stand and get a beautiful picture with the Rockefeller Christmas tree. But I'm sure it costs something. I'm sure that they're hammering you for something. And then we went into the St. Patrick's Cathedral. You know. Walked around like tourists in there, looking up, going, "Oh wow! How did they build this thing?" The weird thing about the St. Patrick's Cathedral thing is they were having mass, which is pretty sacred. And then tourists could just walk around as they're having mass. It's kind of weird. You're walking around taking your pictures and going, "Wow!" And there's literally a priest in the front of the church doing mass. That's what we walked into yesterday. And then I don't like the fact. Look, can I point out a couple things I don't like? I don't do this often, where I talk about the things I don't like. I don't like that there's a gift shop in the middle of St. Patrick's Cathedral. That's weird. You would think they would put that somewhere else, somehow connected to the outside of the church. And then, when you go into a church and they got the candles, right? And you light a candle. Well, you take the flame and you light a candle that's not lit yet, and you do a little wish, a couple wishes, right? Well, at St. Patrick's Cathedral, you could do that at St. Patrick's Cathedral if you got $3. It costs $3 to get a wish going in St. Still Cathedral. That doesn't seem right, no? And then we walked to this restaurant. Now, look, my kids they're still on the young side, and there's a restaurant kind of close to where we used to work at WNEW that we used to go to a lot. We celebrated something with Patrice in there once. I certainly signed a radio contract or two in this joint. And we go in, table for 4. I'm slowing down my voice so you can really experience my lunch yesterday. 5 tables were being used out of at least 20 to 25 in the main dining room. And I walk in, and the host is there, all dressed up nice. I say, "Hey, man, I used to come here a lot. Holy shit. When I used to work upstairs at WNEW, well, welcome back." He was really, really nice. And I'm like, well, it'll be 2 adults and 2 kids. And I don't know what he was doing, but I was standing at that little counter. It seemed like forever. the host, he finally was like, okay, come, this way. And he gives us a nice booth. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. Hi, would you like some drinks? Yeah, the kids will try I don't know, they had the Mexican Cokes. The kids like the Mexican Cokes. I said, you know what? I just want some water. Drink a lot of water during the day. It's pretty much coffee and water for me, for the kid. Wife got a little iced tea or something, And then the drinks kind of came about 5 minutes later. And then we're looking at the menu. And then this is what pisses me off. They tricked me into getting a $52 steak yesterday for my 11-year-old. An 8-ouncer. An 8-ouncer. So I think at this point, we're sitting for at least 20 minutes and we haven't even ordered dinner yet or lunch. And they had a prefixed menu. I don't go prefixed menu usually, but they're like, hey, for $39, you pick one appetizer, one entree, and you get a dessert. I'm like, you know what? I was thinking steak. And I'm like, I don't want a lot of steak. It's lunch, I don't want to feel too filled up. So this little 8-ouncer sounds good to me. This little 8-ouncer. Gonna go Greek salad. Gonna go 8-ounce filet. Gonna go with a scoop of ice cream. That's a damn good lunch right there. And then my daughter says, oh, Daddy, I want the steak. I'm like, all right, cool. Me and you will get the steak. And then my son, he ordered a burger off the prefix. I mean, he didn't go prefix is what I'm trying to say. He went burger. My wife went with some kind of like lobster Cobb salad off. That wasn't a prefix either. I wasn't encouraging people to go prefix. For me, it made sense. So then I'm like, the waiter's there, and I go, wow, this is a pretty good deal, for a nice 8-ounce filet. He goes, oh, you see in the fine print. Excuse me? Yeah, you see, it says $39, but under the steak, do you see in the fine print? Do you see it? And I'm like, opening up the eyes real wide. You mean this thing? You mean this thing that just says S20? Yeah, that. What about it? The S stands for supplement or supplemental, and the 20 is that we add $20. I just can't. I can't anymore. I literally can't anymore. As soon as you leave this house, they're just trying to catch you at every turn. You don't even know what it just says. S20. Who the hell would know? And it says fine print. He goes, yeah, that we add $20 onto to the 8-ounce filet in the prefix. So then I look at him. I'm like, well, wouldn't that just be a regular price then? Well, yeah, but you still get the scoop of ice cream. I look at my daughter. Because I already know what I'm going to do. Because I'm like, for $52, I could cook just a fantastic steak on the grill. I'm like, you really? I go, look, dude, I don't care how much money you got. I am, we're all the same. I look at my daughter like, you really want the steak? Because I don't want to disappoint my little girl. I don't want to disappoint my kids ever. Because I really want the steak. And she didn't hear the whole S20 thing. I'm like, all right, she'll have the steak. And I give them a look of death like, you sons of bitches. And I go, I will have the black and red snapper. I changed my order. I'm like, no, you're not holding me up. You're not tricking me into the S20 garbage. Oh, my God. So we all ordered. And then I think the guy walked away literally in slow motion. Remember, we're in this place. There's 4 tables. And there was a staff of, I'm going to count them in my head again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people wandering around the floor, adjusting glasses. All of a sudden, there's someone over here just adjusting a couple glasses. And then there's someone over here just moving the chairs a little bit. And then we proceeded. I understand some of these places in New York, it's about the dining experience. I understand that. But also it's like, someone that is in charge of a restaurant, they should notice that it's a young family. We're not even taking off our winter stuff because we're kind of cold because they just turned on the heat for the day. So when you see that vibe where it's like a father, a mother, two little kids, they all have their coats and hats still on because they just walked around for 2 hours in the cold. Maybe you want to like speed up lunch a little bit, but boy, it more. Long story short, this lunch took forever, and my patience, and then the food finally came, and the food was, look, I like to say this, I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. The food was absolutely amazing. It was that good. It was great. No complaints there. We ate the food, and then we sat there for another 15 minutes. And then the guy came back. At this point, there's no exaggeration here. At this point, we're in the restaurant well over an hour. And we finally finished our entrees, and the waiter comes back and he goes, "Oh, you and your daughter, you did the prefix, so you get dessert." She ordered strawberry. This is key to this story. She ordered strawberries with whipped cream. And because I didn't like the ice cream flavors, the only ice cream flavor I liked was a vegan ice cream. I don't necessarily do vegan ice creams, but I'm like, mint chocolate chip. I like mint chocolate chip. Does it taste like real ice cream, even though it's vegan ice cream? He gave me a look. I'm like, well, I just need to know. I'm sorry I'm asking you this. He goes, yes. I'm like, all right, I'll have that. Just imagine how long it would take to bring out strawberries with whipped cream and one scoop of vegan mint ice cream. My patience these days, way better. My anger issues, way better. But I started revving up, and I'm looking at my wife like, it's strawberries and a scoop of ice cream. She's like, shh. I'm like, I'm trying, but this is crazy. The reason why I said all that, I started keeping track. When we ordered the strawberries and whipped cream and the one scoop of vegan mint chip ice cream, we were up to 15 minutes. I'm like, what is taking so long to deliver strawberries with whipped cream and one scoop of ice cream? It's been 15 minutes. Usually you look around like, oh, they're busy, you know. She's like, I know, but shh. I'm like, I can't shh anymore. I can't shh anymore. And then I watched the guy, because the dining room is really big, and you can see where the food's coming out, and it's across the way. And a guy in a fancy hat, like he's some kind of French chef, comes out with our desserts, and he's walking. At one point, I go to my wife, are these people, are they robots? They might be robots. She goes, shh. I go, look, there's no emotion on anyone's faces in here. They might be the Greys. They might be the lizard people working at this restaurant. She's like, just give me elbows. I'm like, but you see it at least, right? She has way more patience than me, but she admits, she's like, yeah, you know, yeah, this is ridiculous, but you know, what's the big deal? I'm like, you're right. There is no big deal here, but this is pure lunacy. And then I watched the guy from across the way with the fancy hat, like he's a French chef, holding our two desserts. One is a lousy scoop of ice cream. The other is just strawberries with a little on top. That's all it is. And you ever see those like really fancy weddings, or have you ever been to the fancy weddings where they take their time walking down the aisle and there's some weird step thing happening where they step and stop and step and stop, and they're looking around like that? That's how he was bringing the desserts across the room to the table. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then, you know, the presentation was lovely. The guy with the wacky hat, and then, you know, we dipped into our desserts, and they were just fantastic. I gotta say, it was fantastic. But in the end, it was just a scoop of ice cream and strawberries with a little on top. The whole dinner, from walking in to walking out, and you got to remember, like, you know, I'm no different than you. Like this time of year, everyone is running around like lunatics trying to get a last minute shopping in. And that's what we were doing all day yesterday. So we wanted to go into this place, get a nice bite, quick, good food, and get back to Nordstrom's. The whole meal took over an hour and a half. I'm like, this is absolutely insanity. It's lunch. And because the waiter this is the stuff I should never admit. But I think this is why you like watching this stuff. It's for the stuff I shouldn't admit. I punished the waiter for being sneaky with the S20. So guess what? The S20 turned into an S10 because I took $10 off of his tip to put toward the $52 steak that should have been part of the prefix for $39. But in the small print was the S20. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that S20 is now an S10 in my world. So, we tip very well in general. I have to say that because now I just gave people an opportunity to be a dick towards me because I just was very, very honest. I made sure that S20 turned into an S10, gave him a little less. We usually tip well over 20, easy 20 and above. And his tip came in at a cool 18% about. I took 10 off because I was kind of mad. Because at that point, I can't tell my daughter she can't have a $52 steak for lunch. Even if I had the high-paying job, by the way, because I know this is going to be the next question. Even if I had the high-paying job, I don't feel like paying for a $52 8-ounce filet for lunch. Okay? But at that point, because I was the stupid one that didn't see the tiny S20, the surcharge or whatever the hell they called it, that they had to add on to the prefix of the $39 for the appetizer, entree, and dessert, that pissed me off because they get a lot of people with that. I don't like that. If I knew prefix, it should be prefix, big letters, $39. You pick one from each category, but if you see an S, that means we're doing a surcharge or whatever, a supplemental charge, whatever the hell they called it. So beware, buyer beware. I'm a big fan of buyer beware. But when it's sneaky, it pisses me off. Yes. And it was too late to tell my daughter you can't have the steak because they don't understand money yet. Look, thank you, Aldo. I forgot to tell you this. Because everything in New York costs you. Like I said, I went into St. Patrick's Cathedral. We wanted to light some candles for people that are no longer with us. We've all done it. You take the stick, you light a candle, you make a wish, and you walk out. And St. Patrick's Cathedral is charging you $3 to do that. This stuff drives me insane. Yes, I got $3. You got $3. We all got $3. But it's not everything is about money. And then to see that it's a church. Oh my God. But anyway, Aldo, so I forgot to tell you. So then, I'm so frustrated with this city because just walking, they're trying to take money out of your pockets. Who are you? Oh, we work for the city. We're just hoping you might drop some money and we're going to pick it up because we can't get enough of your money in this city. So all of a sudden, the main guy that sat us, the guy, his whole job is to sit you, and then he just stands there. I would love to know. I want that job. I want the job of the guy that sits you and then stands at his little booth waiting for the next people to come in. I want that gig. I guarantee he's making more money than me. So that guy, he has nothing else to do, right? All of a sudden, he's got a big tray of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. And Aldo, I wanted to tell you, this lunch, by the way, it was $300, by the way. It was a $300 lunch. Forgot to tell you that part. And so the guy who sat us and then stands at the booth waiting for the next people to come in, he has nothing to do. So he's walking around with a giant tray of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies, and he's going to the 4 tables that are being used, even though there's 6 people working the room. Because everyone's sitting there. And we weren't the only table, by the way, going like this. Like, what the hell's going on in it? What? what the heck? You could see. I didn't need to be a lip reader. I'm really good at reading body language. There was like a couple of these, and I want to go over there like, yeah, this is weird, right? This is taking forever. So he walks around with the tray of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. He's offering every table, and he the tray's way up here. We're sitting, so he has to lean all the way down with the cookies so we could all take one. This was in between the appetizer and the entree, and at this point, I'm like, I guess we got to eat cookies because I don't know when the food's going to come out. We're in survival mode now, so we better take a free cookie because God knows how much longer the entrees are going to take. And he's like, yeah, take one. And he says it like that because they want to save their sacred, freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. So he said, take one. And he said one in a way like, don't even think about taking two. This is our gesture to you. So the tray comes all the way down to us so we can take our one cookie. I am telling you the truth. The cookies were this big. I love talking about New York City life. I love it because it's unlike anything else in, I think, the world. Well, definitely anywhere else in the country. It's insane. They want to make you believe that they're actually giving a shit about their customers by walking around with a free cookie. And then when the tray is dipped this low, you can't even bake cookies this small. We all grab a cookie, and me and my wife looked at each other, and I just started openly laughing. And I took my. Well, I guess maybe I can turn this into 2 bites. Minash, King of the Czars. In regards to tipping, would you consider yourself too generous, justified, or cheap for? No, it doesn't sound like it today, and I get that, and whatever, and I give people an opportunity to just attack me for some of the dumb stuff I say in these live streams. I understand that. I understand the whole game, but in general, I'm a very, very good tipper. Easily, I would say 25%. I'm in that range. But then you go to restaurants, and it's rare. But then you got a guy, and also he's like, "Oh, I think that was my mistake." So you know what? The appetizer's on me. Like the appetizers come out too late or something, and you're not even complaining. And they're like, "I'm so sorry these took so long," and you're not even thinking that, And you'll see a guy just go, "Oh, the appetizers are on me." That guy I just crush with a good tip because I do the math in my head. I go, "Oh wait, the appetizers were blah, 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 blah." He just gave those for free. Okay, so I'm going to give more than 25%, but technically I'll be still a little over the 20% range because technically we were supposed to pay for the appetizers. I think the whole purpose of my live stream is to just annoy people. It was a long day, but it was nice being out, wandering around the city. It was kind of cool. It's definitely very, very festive. It's all about that damn Christmas tree. You get close to Rockefeller Center, and they're dancing and singing. There's Christmas music everywhere. You got the Mariah Carey, and it's the Christmas music is just simply amazing. It does put you in a good mood. You tipping the building staff this year, Nero? I kind of talked about that yesterday. One of my earns today is just find money. Why aren't you happier? Well, I don't know because I'm not a kid. Christmas is expensive. This time of year is expensive for adults. Maybe that's why we're not officially in the Christmas spirit. My city taxes are due. The building tips are due. 36 people will be getting a tip today in an envelope. Half the people I don't even know. So I got to go to the bank to get cash. And then when we leave the city for a couple of weeks, then I hand in the other 8 envelopes to the guys that park my car in the building because they're separate from the building. You understand, right? Of course you understand that, right? You pay insane money to live in a building in New York City. You want to park your car in the building. Oh, that's a separate company. How is it a separate company? It's the same building. No, it's a separate company, man. What do you got? Your vehicle's pretty big. You know, we're gonna have to hammer you for about. They eyeball it. That's the best part. They look at your car. They look at you. We're gonna hammer you for about $750 a month. Is that the price? Yeah, that's the price. Oh, okay, thanks. $750 to just have the car just rot in the building so I could drive it every once in a while. Yeah. And then they look at your car again. And I think what they're doing at this point, because we have found cigarette butts in the passenger seat on the floor, they look at your car like, oh, this is going to be a good car to take naps in. Careful, don't piss off, or they spit on food more than you. Yeah, no, man. I made a deal with my wife a long time ago. She begs me to behave in restaurants because she completely believes that. A lot of people around me completely believe that. So I am well behaved, and I'm taking it all in. Oh, that'll cost you 1% on your tip. You did that. That's 0.5%, I think. What are we up to? 1.5% down on the tip? I don't do that. I just thought that would be fun to say. Okay, thank you. But anyway, in this building, so when you make the deal, you're just making a deal. They look at you like, that's gonna be $750 a month. Are you charging everybody the $700? Yeah, we are. Yeah. They stare at the car. I'm back at this bit. Stare at the car. And I know what they're thinking now because I've been in the building a long time. I didn't know it first. They're staring at the car. In their head, they're like, they got satellite radio, bucket seats, gonna recline real nice, lots of leg room. Yeah, I'm gonna be napping in that car. So we've gotten in our car where all of a sudden we get in and there's reggaeton music cranking. I'm like, me and my wife, she looks at me. I'm like, no, of course not. She wanted to say, when did you start liking reggaeton? Of course not. And then there was another time I got in the car, right? And I got to put the mic down for this for a second. Professional mic. Get in the car, and I was this far from the steering wheel. I had to readjust my seats. This is all for $750 a month, not counting the Christmas tips that they will be getting in the next week or so. And then another time, the smell of BO was just god-awful. And then the Mac Daddy was the cigarette butts that were on the floor mat on the passenger side. This is what you deal with. This is why I love talking about New York. I love it because it's just such a unique and special place. I was trying to capture the magic of our lunch yesterday in New York City as we went to the Rockefeller Christmas tree and had a family moment in front of 10,000 people. I was trying to share my day with you, but it went a little long. It did, huh? Okay. Other people, they just see the magic of the city this time of year, and I just see everything else. Oh, is that the line? That's the line to get the nice picture in front of the Rockefeller Christmas tree. Hey, maybe if we quickly, put the kids up on this flower bed, they'll be a little higher than the rest of these farmers, and we can get a quick picture of the kids, with the tree in the background. So I lift one kid up. By the time I went for the second kid, excuse me. By the way, if you're saying excuse me, your tone can't be excuse me. At that point, you should say, hey, right? Am I right about that one too? Of course I am. So before I could get the second kid up on the flower, the flower box, whatever it's called. So they're a little higher than all the other farmers. So then the tree it almost looks like they're the only people around the tree. Before I could get the second kid up, I got the, excuse me, you can't do that. Why? You know what's going on in this city, sir? Do you understand what's going on in this city right now, sir? And this is your worry that I can't put my 2 kids up on this like thing so we get a better picture of the tree behind them. Do you understand what's going on in this city? Excuse me. Oh my God, the anger too. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And then going to the St. Patrick's Cathedral, like I said, and walking around there as they're having an actual mass. Everyone's just walking around taking pictures. Hey, can you take one of me? And the priest is basically saying "Body of Christ," and all you can hear is like, "Hey, I'll take your picture, and then and then can you take a picture of me and my family?" This is all going on in the church. And then light a candle to make your little blessing. Now that costs $3 at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Make sure you have pocket money if you go into St. Patrick's Cathedral because they're hammering you to make a wish in a Catholic church. Dun, 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 dun. What's new, Ope? How's your family? Or how's you and your family? We're all good, getting ready for I just want to get past Christmas, but I don't even know how we get there. That's the anxiety I'm feeling today is how we even get there. We got so much stuff to wrap. We still got shopping to do. We got to go to Philly for Christmas Eve. Christmas is 2 days away, and we got 3 days, whatever it is, and we got so much stuff to do. So just completely feeling the pressure of trying to get everything done in time. And then the side shit I got the regular monthly bills to pay, and then I got the Christmas tips I still got to get together. I got to write out 36 envelopes today or tomorrow. Go to the bank just to get cash to put it. We're doing good, but I'll be honest with you. I don't know how we get there, but Christmas morning, somewhere around noon, me and my wife will look at each other and just breathe like one big, and then we could just glide, go back to regular stuff to worry about. I say that because I know a lot of you are in the same damn boat. All I want for Christmas is you. Mariah Carey went to my high school. She was she wasn't friends with my twin brothers. She liked one of my twin brothers and didn't like the other one. How great is that? My brothers literally are the same grade at Harbor Fields High School as Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey absolutely knew my brothers. She liked one of them better than the other one. And she rode the school bus that would pretty much stop in front of my house to let my brothers off. Yes. And she was, it's been said over the years, she was the weirdo that was singing in the back of the bus. And all the rest of the kids would make fun of her. And now look where she is. But she went to my high school and she's the same age as my brothers. I could get to her family house in less than 5 minutes from where I was brought up. Yes. And I ran into her once in the park. She was filming something right around Tavern on the Green. And she was like, some of these celebrities, this is the other cool thing about New York. Some of these celebrities also will be filming something and they try to they kind of try to do it quick, before people realize and start gathering. And for whatever reason, I was walking, I think I might have been walking home from Sirius after the show. And I cut through, back then I would cut through Tavern on the Green. It was a nice, shortcut to go kind of on an angle through Central Park. And then I would pop up. Why am I being this detailed? Near Tavern on the Green. And she was there filming something and not many people around. And they were in between takes. So I went right up to her and she had a giant bodyguard. And I couldn't get that close. But I yelled out, I'm like, yo, Mariah, I'm Quinn. Oh, I don't like saying my brother's name. Sorry. Well, you heard his name. I try to keep them out of all this nonsense. But I go, I'm Blank's brother. She goes, how is he doing? She got all smiley. at the mention of my brother's name, and at this point she was already a massive star, massive, and she gave me a moment, and the smile said it all. Like, oh my God, that's some Harbor Field stuff, and it was quick. It was quick. And then she moved on to do her thing, and I just walked home. But I did have a moment with Mariah Carey, and I was able to yell out that I was Blank's brother, and she had a big smile on her face. And then I went to my brother, like, did you ever make out with her? She smiled pretty broadly when I mentioned your name. You think I'm good looking? Oh, you don't think? Oh, sorry. Was that just in my head? My brother, Jesus Christ. My brother, he would walk in. There's a time when I was working at BAB, we were going to pretty much the same bar, Fast Eddie's in Huntington. Rest in peace, Mr. Fast Eddie. He was a damn good guy. He put on comedy shows too, and he would have to pick up Otto and George. So so Otto would play his joint Fast Eddie's, but Fast Eddie had to go and get him. And the stories he would tell, oh my God. And they got some rare footage of Otto at Fast Eddie's that I've checked out over the years. But anyway, I thought I was doing all right for myself. Let's just put it that way. And then my brother would walk in with his long fucking locks, a blonde hair that was very rare. It wasn't blonde. It had almost like a silverly, like a silver blonde. And he would walk in, and you would feel all the girls just go and stare at my brother. So when Mariah Carey smiled like that, I'm like, I know that smile. I know that smile, Miss Carey. I'm babbling. When I start babbling, I know I got to end this dumb thing. Yeah, it was sort of Ric Flair blonde, Chuck, sort of. I always had a little red in my hair. And I was jealous of two of my brothers because they had the blonde. I'm like, I got a little red in mine. But you're a strawberry. If I had to hear, but you're a strawberry blonde. No, I got red mousy hair in the winter. Shut up. I don't know, Matt, to be honest. I mean, I know who she used to hang out with. She ran in the same circles as my brother's group, more or less, or a subset of my brother's group. And I know a guy that's absolutely awesome that was really close to her, but I don't know what their actual relationship was. But this guy, man, oh God, Peter, if you're out there, I miss you, Peter. Oh my God, 6'6", and just would fight everybody with a smile. He was one of those guys. He wasn't scared of literally no one. God, imagine going through life not being scared of no one. And this guy, Peter, was one of those guys. And he was like 6'6", Marine, not an ounce of fat on him. And he would just fight everybody with a smile on his face. Oh my God. And he was like, he was my brother's best friend for a very, very long time. But anyway, he definitely knew Mariah Carey pretty well. They were like legit friends. Mariah's worth $350 million. Oh my God. To think that she's worth $350 million. And the story goes that she was the weirdo on the back of the bus. I would assume she went to Washington Drive as well. We started Washington Drive. Then we went to Old Fields. Then we went to Harbor Fields. And I think she did the whole run. And she was the weirdo in the back of the bus singing. And people would be like, who is this girl? And then when she was in high school, she was already going to the city a lot to try to get record deals and whatnot for her music. She started that as she was as she was still in high school. And then she hit very, very soon after high school. And she also was a cashier in Greenlawn. There used to be a supermarket there. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And she was literally the cashier there. We all know her very well in the Greenlawn, Centerport, Huntington area. And then for homecoming, there was sort of like a homecoming, which was like, when you go home for Thanksgiving and then you try to run into your old friends. Well, there was a bar in Huntington that was a hangout for a lot of the high schoolers that, Harbor Fields High School. And early on, when you were barely out of high school, you made sure you went to that bar every time you came home from college to go, see some of your old friends. And one year, I love this story. One year, they had this area roped off in the bar where everybody from Harbor Fields was going to go to for Thanksgiving break. And they had a roped off section because Mariah Carey was coming, and she was now huge. And she was only at this point, maybe 20, 21 years old. And then my brother went because that's what he does. And he went with his friends. And he sees Mariah Carey, but she has a roped off section because she's a massive star at this point already. Bodyguards, but she's trying to hang with her fellow classmates. She's still into this little world. And my brother, went to say hi to Mariah because he legit knew her. And the bouncer stopped him immediately. And she's like, she screams, "Oh my God," and says my brother's name, which I know I said earlier, but I'm not going to say it again. She freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God, good to see you." And then obviously my brother was allowed over the ropes to give good old Mariah Carey a nice big old hug. There was a time I was the second most famous person at Harbor Fields High School. I'm sure I've dropped down to out of the top 10 at this point, but there was a time people would say, famous people from Harbor Fields High School, Mariah Carey and Opie from the Opie and Anthony show. And now there's probably a whole bunch in there after Mariah Carey before they get to me. I understand. It happens. Is your brother still in the restaurant business? Oh my God, yeah, the brother that I heard. I gotta get more details about this from my other brother who owns FH Riley's. Yeah, he's at East Northport. He's still kicking ass. He moved locations, but he's doing very, very well. I gotta ask him a little more about this, but my other brother, who's the twin of the brother I've been talking about, Mariah didn't like him as much. And I got to find out why. That's how it's been told to me over the years, but I don't have details on that. But it kind of makes me laugh. All right, I got to go for real, guys. Good luck getting everything done for Christmas.